and then we shall resume today's session. But today's session hopefully will be the last session for this mantra. So mantra 15, we will try to conclude today with Radhesham Prabhuji's slides, which he has put together in a flowchart to get it summarized. So let's get in there. And this is all due to the wisdom given by Srila Prabhupada ji. Hare Krishna. And let's do the Mangalacharan. So feel free if you would like to join me in Mangalacharan. Om अज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतलं स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुन् श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथवितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सवादूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील गुरुदेव महाराज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय जय श्री राधे श्याम। हरे कृष्ण एवरीवन। I welcome you in today's session of Shri Isopanisad. As you know, we've been doing this Upanishad for a while now. There are 18 mantras and we are on 15. So 15 mantra, hopefully we will conclude today. We have been doing 10 sessions. This is the 11th session to conclude on mantra 15. Mantra 15 falls into the last category, which is prayers to Ishvar. So how should we utilize the knowledge and the understanding to pray to Krishna, to Ishwar, so Ishwar could manifest himself into our life. It's not that we can claim, but we could request the way we do the prayers. So prayers are in the form of requests. So I'm just flicking through the slides, what we have already done to reach to what we discussed last time. Last couple of sessions were detailed in something which we had done it in the past as well, when we did the Goloka chart, which is probably the most important thing to us, even if we think ourselves material, because this body, as we said, is what we usually consider ourselves as. And this is what we discussed last couple of sessions, that 24 elements. And then hopefully we remember the month of 5. So we call it Panchabhuta, Mahabhutas, and then moving on to 5 knowledge acquiring senses, usually what we call sixth sense. So sixth is the 6, but then what are the 5 senses? So these are the 5 senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses. They help to acquire the knowledge, but they don't work. They are different working senses. And then we have the objects, 5 different objects for 5 different knowledge acquiring senses. And then now, so all that so far is the gross body, right? But now we are getting subtler and subtler. So of course, voice could be subtler as well. So eyes, they are physical, but the voice is subtle. But further subtler than that, what we call subtle body is made up of 3 things: mind, intelligence, and false ego. So man, buddhi, ahankar, mind, intelligence, and ego. And then we have the unmanifested, and we did discuss a bit on unmanifested last time. So, chapter 13, Bhagavad Gita explains it. Krishna explains a bit more to Arjun on these 24 elements. And consider this unmanifested as the soul, as a Paramatma. And that is the true nature of us. And this is another way of this representation where we're going to understand where we are right at the bottom. And that's the bit which wasn't there in the previous slide. The results of interactions of these 24 elements. So these 24 elements, they are the ones how we interact with world. If we cut down these experiments, and this happens, so I love doing some exercises with kids while the kids were growing up, and I think it was my son who said, I would like to go and enjoy and all. And I said, okay, let's go together. We will do it. But how about we will not include these 5 senses? And then initially he said, yes, okay, that's okay. We can do that. But then very quickly, all the suggestions he gave, we realized that if we take these 5 senses out, we cannot, what we think as the enjoyment, we cannot indulge ourselves in any of those things. And it was such a revealing thing, not only for me, I hope for him as well. That's so true, that these 5 senses control 100% over our life. We can't really engage ourselves in anything. But then I think we discussed that maybe because we are thinking ourselves as a gross body. I said, well, see, you can close your eyes and just think of something and you can enjoy there. And then when he thought about it, he said, yeah, I can do that. So I said, well, rather than playing video game, your eyes might go bad. You can close your eyes and you can enjoy there. And that was a different kind of discussions we had it there. Hare Krishna, Mataji, please.
Yes, it's just a thought, Prabhuji. You know, the results of the interactions. What about things like happiness or unhappiness and distress, other emotions that accompanies this material life?
Very
Are they
nice.
all included in these 4 things?
That's right, Mataji. Thank you so much. So desire, for example, is like everything we do, they can be boiled down to one thing, which is a desire. Whether we want to eat anything, we want to see anything, we want to touch anything, we want to hear something, anything we would like to enjoy, we can say because the desire came. Desire to see, desire to eat, desire to taste. Then the way in chapter 3, Krishna has explained to Arjun that, so the word says kama krodha. That kama is a desire and krodha is anger. So the way the cycle goes, the very first thing we contemplate on. So and the whole marketing works on that. So marketing will be there. Either we are listening to maybe a new Bollywood song or a trailer is there. I think there was a time when the trailers were pictures, Bollywood movies, pictorial trailers were not there. Only the songs used to come. And from the songs, we used to get excited that we are going to watch that movie. But later on, the trailers started where a bit of clips will come and the songs will come. And later, the dialogues started coming as a part of the trailer. And then we got even more excited. But all that trailer will do is the contemplation. Now we are thinking about it. Now, when we think about it, 2 things could happen. If it's one of those things, which most of the time, of course, if it's material, we would love. After contemplation, the desire will come. We would like to go and enjoy it. We would like to, if it's a new restaurant open, then we would like to go and eat the dosa. I'm saying that because somebody on the call said to me yesterday that there's a new dosa place has been opened, and I can't wait to go and taste it. So, and that's just the desire. But how the desire came? Because a person got a marketing leaflet which says a new place is open in your vicinity. Because of that, the person started contemplating. Now, because of the contemplation, the desire, either desire to avoid. So I remember when we did Ride London. So I rode like 100 plus miles in London. So I was excited because I'm going to be part of it. But there were other people who were not happy with it. Why? Because whenever they saw this market, they realized, oh, so many people, there's so many roadblocks, we can't go there. So it's the same activity, but and both of them have the desire. One has the desire to participate, the other person has desire to avoid it. But after the desire, two things will happen. Either either the desire will get fulfilled, whether the desire for me that I will able to take participate, or for the other person that the person will not able to take participate. That's a positive desire for both of us. Negative desire for both of us. I wanted to take part, but I could not take part. That's a negative for me. I will be unhappy. And for the other person don't want to get stuck. But if in case that for some reason person will get stuck, that's negative for the person. Now, how it happened? Contemplation, desire, positive or negative. And then if it's positive, we will get happy, pleasure. If it will not get fulfilled, then we will get pain. That's it. And if this pleasure and pain will come from somebody external, could be a company, could be a person, could be a country, then we will either love that or the country or the person or the relative or maybe a sibling, because we will think that they are the source of that pleasure or pain, and because of that we will start hating them or maybe liking them, and that's it. That's a small story of how all these things work. Yeah, does that make sense, Mataji?
Yeah. So the thing is, what I'm trying to understand is that when desire, main thing is desire, when it doesn't get fulfilled, then other things develop like krodha, moha.
Yes,
More is desire, isn't it?
it is. Yes,
Or attachment. That when it doesn't get fulfilled, then negative things will come into it, like
yes,
unhappiness and krodha and anger and
yes.
so.
Kama, krodha, moh, lobha.
Look,
Kama, Krodha, Moh, Lobha. However, all four of them, they're kind of desire.
yeah,
It's like very little difference, but they all could be categorized into desire because it's like the difference between desire and lust, we say. So lust somewhere, a lot of places in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada Ji had defined lust as a bodily lust. But a lot of other places, he had translated lust as a desire based on the circumstances. But basically, we could say it's a desire. But you're right. So it is the desire. And now the main thing for us is so of course, like what Srila Prabhupada ji said, Buddhists will say that we should not have desire. That's what Srila Prabhupada ji says in his books. That Buddhists will say we should not have desire. But we are humans and we have material body, we will always have desire. So we cannot stop desires. However, what we can do is to change our material desires to spiritual desires. Yeah. And then, for example, I was discussing with Prabhuji yesterday that if for some reason my kids, I want them to learn, but rather than them to learn maybe something material, how about if they learn mridanga? How about if they learn piano? But from piano, they will get a lot of bhajans. So still material skills, but we deploy in the spiritual way.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Great. Thank you so much, Mataji, for that. So pleasure, pain, desire, hatred, all of them will come when these 24 elements will interact with the material world. And these are the only ways to interact. So the only thing what Srila Prabhupada ji is saying that we engage these senses, we move them from material to change them to spiritual. That's it. That's the only change we need to make in our life. Not a big change, but it's a gradual change. So rather than waking up one day, oh, well, we should stop everything and then change it. Maybe not. Slowly, gradually, just do it. Like what one of the Prabhuji said. So husband and wife went there, and wife said, oh, well, I can't do 16 malas. I will only do two. And Prabhuji said, oh, well, that's good enough. Let's start with two. And the husband will say, well, I will do 16. And Prabhuji said, how about you just do eight? And he said, well, what are you saying? She said two and you agreed on two. I said 16 and you are asking me to reduce. He said, well, because we are not looking for the short game. We are looking for the long game. And with experience, Prabhuji could say, those who start with 16, most of the time they fall down. If you start, so it doesn't really matter how many we do, but the agreement with ourselves, what we make, should be the minimum. And then we start growing up to keep it sustainable, to keep it steady. And then that's the way. But I've met so Radha Govind Prabhuji. All the glories to Prabhuji. If Prabhuji is going to listen this, Prabhuji said, Prabhuji and Mataji actually, they visited our residence, I think, yeah, and they were there. And I think Mataji said that I started gradually, but Prabhuji said that it was just in my mind, and I was thinking about it. One day I wake up and I said, that's it. I can't really go with a low number. From now on, I will do 16. And he said, since then, I have always maintained 16. So there are some exceptional devotees like His Grace Radha Govind Prabhuji from Manna. And Prabhuji and Mataji, they are still serving great at the Manna, but not everybody will be able to do that. So this is another way of describing what we have just seen. Purusha is for Krishna, the soul, the consciousness, the source, and then unmanifestation, what we call Prakriti. So Purusha and Prakriti, these are the terms used in Bhagavad Gita as well, but mainly in Upanishads. So Krishna is there, and the Prakriti, everything what we see. Sometimes we also refer Prakriti as Maya. Everything is in Maya. But then we have the Mahat, then we have Ahamkara. So these three, sorry, these three, they are what we could say now our subtle body is transforming into or giving the connection to our gross body. So the self, so the mind and the intellect and the ego, and then going forward, if you remember, Sattva, Raja, Tamo, and then which is goodness, passion, and ignorance. And based on that, we are getting five senses organs, how we include them, five organs, five tanmatra. So these are subtle senses, tanmatra. And then, of course, we have the great Maha Panchbhut based on that. So this is just another representation, and we can see the Sanskrit in the bracket as well. Okay, this is what we have discussed, or been discussing with last two. Now, factual realization of the absolute truth, where we say that Krishna is there, even though we can't see Krishna, we can't realize Krishna, but at least what we could understand that our material life, whatever changes is material. What doesn't change, where we live, what we eat, how we look, everything is material. But Krishna is absolute truth, and we all need to work towards Krishna. So the ultimate Brahman, as I was saying, that the unmanifested and then the manifested. So Nirgun and Satgun. And this is always a catch. I was discussing with another good friend of mine that Advaita and Dvaita. That obviously the Advaita, both of them will agree on both. So Advaita, Adi Shankaracharya ji will agree that there is a God, like he has written Bhaj Govindam. And the same thing, if you look about that, Srila Prabhupada ji will agree on unlimited Brahman. But the only difference between two is that Adi Shankaracharya ji will say that first it was Nirguna Brahman, and then Satguna, God, Krishna, Bhagavan, Ishwar came out from Nirguna Brahman. And Prabhupada ji from Dvaita will say that it was Krishna, Satguru, from whom Nirgun came out. That's the only difference. But if you compare both on the same level, then everybody would think same, because at the end of the day, it's Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and Bhagwan realization. What is the difference? In very, very short, in essence, when we realize we are Satyachit Ananda, we are part and parcel of God, Krishna, then that's Brahman realization. Then the next, when we see not only Krishna is within us, Krishna is within everyone, that's Param Atma, Paramatma realization, that Krishna is not only with me, Krishna is in everyone. And then when we see not only in everyone, Krishna is everywhere. And the source of me and source of others and source of everything and everybody is Krishna, is the Lord, is the absolute truth. And that's Bhagavan realization. Brahman, individual, Paramatma, everyone else, Bhagwan, everything else. So these are the three realizations. And of course, they from individual to the others to all. So this is what we have seen. And the analogy we usually take. So it says realizing Shri Krishna in full potency. So we have seen this, the analogy of sun. So the sun radiations falling on me, they are like Brahman realization. I realize the sun is there falling on me. So the God, the Krishna is there with me and in my heart all the time. And I do exhibit those qualities as Satya Chitta Ananda. And that's why it says, because we are spirit soul, we are a spiritual being, we could never be happy with material things. It's like what we said, if there is a child who's playing with the plastic toys, plastic food, plastic kitchen, can enjoy as long as the child will not feel hungry. But when the child will feel hungry, that plastic food, plastic money, plastic house, plastic kitchen will never able to satisfy the physical body. Similar way, because we are a spiritual being, the material success will only able to satisfy us for as long as that plastic toys able to satisfy the child. After a while, and this could be for some children, they will get bored from the plastic toys very quick. Some they might go for many years before. But the point is, right at the end, every child will realize that these are the plastic toys and we need to move away. Unfortunately, even when they will grow up, they have many more other toys these days. They will get video games, Xbox, PSP. And the similar thing will happen with us as well. In material world, we will think of a bigger house, in a better community, the car and the clothes and the fancy holidays and everything, which is not bad to enjoy, but we should realize all the time that they are temporary. What is so these temporary will not, because these temporary are material and we are spiritual. So the material thing will never ever able to satisfy the spiritual. But when you will see the devotees there in the temple, right at the front of Krishna, the deities, or doing the kirtan with other devotees, you could see, and I'm sure you would have felt that fulfillment, that contentment, that yes, even if it was just momentary, but you could feel that bliss. And that bliss is the spiritual bliss. Now, this is what we would like to keep it with us all the time, because it's Satya Chit Ananda. So this bliss, we are conscious of this bliss, and this bliss should be there with us all the time. Hence Satya Chit Ananda. So Lord Krishna, the last sentence, the Lord Krishna, who is known as Vasudeva, is everything, not only everybody, but everything. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. He is Bhagavan, the root, and Brahman and Paramatma are his branches. So then the 719 verse is also mentioned here. Hiranmanya Patra. So one realizes Vasudeva Sarvamiti, that Krishna is the source of everything. And this is why it says that Krishna is the full potency. Now, this is the conclusion which Srila Prabhupada ji has given, which we have seen it before, that if we do bhakti yoga, then bhakti yoga will cover all the yogas. Because in bhakti yoga, it's not one of those bhakti yoga where we just chant the whole day. Because Srila Prabhupada ji said that this religion is not the armchair religion. We go out and we do the physical devotional service. And because of that, we realize that it will include karma yoga. And because we study, we meditate, if there is a jnana, we take care of the body, because if the body is good, we will able to serve. So there is the meditation, chanting, the dhyan yoga, ashtang yoga, like our Gorang Prabhuji said that I do yoga every day just to take care of your body so you can serve the community better. And this is from Radhesham Prabhuji, which we will try to utilize now. To summarize today's session and the whole mantra 15, so next session we will start mantra 16. So impersonal form versus Krishna's personal form. So this is the main thing which we have discussed. So what is Krishna's position? As we realize, Krishna is the source. Brahman, Brahman is that Brahm Jyoti, but Krishna is the source. So Krishna is the sun and Brahm Jyoti, Brahman is like sun radiations, sun rays. Then how can we see this position as Krishna? So how can we see? We have seen, if we realize that if we try to understand our self, we realize that this body, what we consider as, remember what we said, that we always say, this is my hand, not this is me. This hand is not me, this is my hand, right? Which means this hand is different than me. And we can understand, if somehow this hand will be cut, then, well, physical body of mine has gone down, but I'm still complete in myself. Yeah, my physical body has reduced, which reduced with time anyways. But this physical body is mine. But this physical body is not me. So there is a differentiation. What am I? I am not this body. This body is mine. Very similar to that, this mobile is mine, this car is mine, this wife is mine, this son, daughter, this house, the parents, they are mine. They are not me. What am I? I am that soul which never changes. So, what is the position of Krishna? Who are we? And what is the relationship between two of us? If we understand these three things, that will do the job for us. The whole spiritual journey could be summarized in these three: where we are, where do we need to go, and how do we need to go? What we are, what Krishna is, because we would like to go to Krishna, and then what we are, which means where we are, and what's the journey, what spiritual practices we do to reach there, to realize Krishna. So so this is how can we see this Krishna's position everywhere, where we can understand that we are spiritual. If we are spiritual and we know Krishna is spiritual, we could, it's easy, because now we both are on the same path. Proof of how personal form is highest realization, and we will see that now. So the very first thing, if we see Krishna's position, what we were discussing, source of impersonal Brahman, Aham Brahma Sthashnavi, 14:27, the last verse of chapter 14, it's very clear what Krishna says, I'm the basis of Brahman. And then, so this is what we can understand, Krishna is the portion. This mantra 15, mentioned the word portion, which is the portion is the source. Portion is somebody who takes care. So parents are supposed to be the portion. The gardeners are supposed to do the portion of the trees. So Krishna takes care of the Brahm Jyoti Brahman. This is what we understand. This is how we understand what Krishna is, what Krishna's position is, which is the Lord, Ishwar. Hence, Shri Ishopanishad, filled with transcendental bliss. Now, again, once we realize everything is material, what we get engaged, but we are looking for the transcendental bliss. What is transcendental? Which is beyond ignorance, mode of ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of goodness. Satya, Raj, Gun, Tama. When we are beyond these three, that's what we call transcendental. And okay, all these are the examples of what we have already seen, what we have already done. So we do need to understand that these things we have discussed before, that there are 5 rasas where how devotees connect to Krishna. So some are in shant, Shanta is where non-living things, they are just stone, and that's it. There's no feeling in it. That's it. That's what we call shunya. So that's Shanta Bhava. But then we have Dasya Bhava. Dasya Bhava is when you become a Das, servant of Krishna. And this servant is not what we see material servant. This servant is where the parents become the servant of the children, or maybe when children grow up and parents are very old, children become the servant of the parents. And all those people who are in service, who are doing the job, in one way, they are the servants of their companies. And it's very similar. They go, they work. It could be highly intellect, working on computers, doing the presentations all over the place. But at the end of the day, each one of us, whoever does these kind of services, do the job, get the wages, daily wages, monthly contracts, yearly contracts, benefits, whatever it is. But for our services, we get something. And out of all, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This is the part of the Shudra. And it's very important part of the community. So that's what we are when we take money, wages for our services. But that's material. This dasya is, as I said, parents of maybe friends. When we help each other, devotees help each other, we don't expect anything in return. We just serve. And that's what Sarva Dasya Bhav is, where the devotees will just serve, that how we should help each other. And this is what Krishna said. That well, Srila Prabhupada ji said it, that Dasya Bhava is how we would like to serve Krishna. Then we have friendly, what we call Sankhya. So some they consider Krishna as their friend. And there is a mention of a sage. Uh, I forgot the name of the sage. He's not very popular. Somebody mentioned him, but a very rudimentary, very ground to earth. And he always said that he used to call Yar, like in a very Hindi. So anything happens good for him, he will not go out to fetch food, and he will just stay at his place, and he will get whatever he wants. Then at the end of the day, he will say, "Mere yaar ne diya." So my friend has given this to me. And people will think, well, see, this is old monk. He doesn't realize that we are the people who give him. But then somebody also got offended that every day I come to give him, but he always say, "Mere yaar ne diya." My Lord has given, but it's me who comes through. And I was actually discussing this with my mom, and Navratri is going on. And during Navratri, we always fast for 9 days. And when I was a child living with family, so we, and just before Navratri, the Pitra, there were the offering for the Pitra as well, for the forefathers who are not there anymore. And all those auspicious days, what we do, we offer to the God, but the way the God cannot take it, like we want to make them eat. But in the Shastras, it says Brahmins, they, when they put something in their mouth, Lord accepts it. That's one. And the other is when we put something in Havan, Lord accepts that as well. Actually, demigods, Indra Dev accepts that. Whatever we offer in the Agni Dev. So Agni Dev accepts that and takes it for Indra, and Indra splits that into in all the demigods. So this is a mention in one of the Skanda Purana, says that. The whole story goes how Agni Dev does this. But rather than doing Havan every day, what we used to do, so my mom, and I didn't understand when I was a child, and but now when we were discussing, my mother said, okay, we're going to do this. Then I thought, oh, I remember I used to do that. Then, of course, later on, it came, somebody must have explained it to me. But what used to happen that at the end of the day, in evening, we will do the prayers and all. And my mother, the very first thali, the plate with everything, will put together, and she will ask me to give it to the temple. And where we used to live on the same street, we had the temple. And if the temple is off sometimes based on the timing, because sometimes we do a bit early in afternoon, then the priest house is nearby. So I will just knock, ring the bell, open the door, and then just offer the plate. They will take the plate, take it inside. I will wait for a while, and they will give the plate back, and I will come. So what we have done, we have offered them, right? And then if we understand, this is when the Brahmins will offer. Brahmins either would offer as a dasya, but most of the time Brahmins will offer as a friend. So these guys, they used to do the same, giving food to this monk. But the monk will say, "Mere yaar ne diya." And these guys will get offended. Well, one of them got offended, and he said, "Well, see, we need to teach this monk a lesson that it's not him, but us who give." So that day they decided, okay, we are not going to offer him anything. Let's see what happens. And he didn't get anything. And of course, he was hungry, but he didn't get everything. At the end of the day, the guys came and they said, "So what happens? How was your day today?" And if we can understand, and we did discuss this before in a different format, the mention was, so somebody who witnessed this was narrating it, that this monk started dancing. And they said, "Well, aren't you hungry?" Say, "I'm hungry today." "Yes, of course I am." "Why are you dancing?" And he said in Hindi, he said, "Aaj mere yaar ki chali." And he's dancing and he's keep repeating that. "Aaj mere yaar ki chali, aaj mere yaar ki chali." And everybody's saying, "What happened to you? What are you saying?" And he's saying, "See, every day I feel hungry and I want to eat. And mere yaar ne diya, my friend, Lord, he provides to me. But today, maybe I'm not supposed to eat, which means every day my friend offers to me because I wanted. But today, what he wanted that I will not eat happened. So I'm even more happy that not what I wanted that happened. Aaj mere yaar ki chali." Like, this is, so he was just a monk. But see, if you remember, I did share that what Her Grace Nitai Sevni Mataji from Vishakhapatnam shared it. She said, devotees are happy always for two reasons. Either what they want will happen, and they will say thank you to Krishna, not because of their own knowledge or skills, they got it. Krishna offered, Krishna made it happen, and devotees will be full of gratitude. Whatever they wanted happened because Krishna gave it to them. But when what they wanted, that didn't happen, they will still be happy because now they have realized that not what I wanted happen, what Krishna wanted happen. And Krishna always know more than us. Krishna knows. It's like parents. Kids will cry to eat ice cream, for example, or play video game, even when they are not supposed to. You know, if kids will play video game all night, which they would love to, next morning if they want to go to school, their eyes will be sore, they might be sick. Same thing if they want to eat ice cream and it's cold, their throat will go. Parents will kind of force them not to, but those children, those people who think, why Krishna has done it for me, those adults are like those children who don't realize that what Krishna is doing, it's in their favor, even though what they think is not good at that moment. And I've met so many who said it that we didn't realize in that span of time, but we realized later that it was good. I've shared my own stories, but this monk said more or less the same thing, that every day Krishna gave it to me and I say, "Mere yaar ki chali." But today, because I've been fasting, and hence Krishna, so whatever my friend wanted, aaj mere yaar ki chali. So then these people, they understood that it's because they thought that this person is going to realize that we give away. This person will ask maybe forgiveness from us because they will realize we are the continuous source of them. But now they realize that it's not us actually, it's the Krishna who is making us serve this monk. And then they gave the food to the monk, and then monk had the food, and then monk said it again that mere yaar ne diya, mere yaar ne diya. And these guys started laughing that if they got it, he got it, what he wanted, mere yaar ne diya. If he didn't get it, he will still be happy that aaj mere yaar ki chali. My Lord would like me to go starve today, and I will just go by. And this is what true, this is what true devotees would like, that they will always and always like to be. So these are where Sakhya Bhav is there, Dasya is there, the Sakhya is there. Then one of the highest one, probably the highest we say is Madhurya Bhav. Madhurya Bhav is where the gopis would like. And when we say gopis, gopis and gopas, male and female, young like could be a child, could be an adult, could be very old gopi, and they all consider Krishna as their own, and they would just like to spend time with Krishna. And this is of course beyond everyone that how this is possible. But of course, if we are in that bhakti bhav, then we can understand. So Shanta bhav, Shanta is a shant like non-living, if you can say. Dasya, where we consider ourselves as a servant of Krishna, like we would like to serve without expecting anything. Sakhya as a friend. Then Vatsalya, where Yashoda Mai and Ramanujacharya and Vallabhacharya ji actually. Vallabhacharya ji started Pushti Marg, where still in from Gujarat, a lot of devotees they will consider, and we have Laddu Gopal as well. That Laddu Gopal, like we will consider Krishna as a little kid, and would like to serve Krishna like a mother, right? And that's Vatsalya. And then, of course, as I said, Madhurya. So these five rasas are there, which we have seen here. This is how relationship. So again, we understood how Krishna, what Krishna is, the supreme, what we are, a spiritual being engrossed in material world, consider ourselves body, mind, and then relationship we can make. We can make any of those. But Srila Prabhupada ji always said that if you take dasya bhav, because all others, a friend could serve another friend, and we do. Friend like to help each other, and then of course parents would like to serve. And when we love someone, how do we express our love? By serving, right? We will do something for you. So a lot of times even the young couples will say, what can I do for you? I would like to do something for you. So which means I would like to serve something for you. So Srila Prabhupada ji always said, if we take the stand of a dasya, then we kind of get cater for all the different rasas if we just have one, which is the serving. And we can serve in whichever mode we can get connected to Krishna, the Lord. And again, how do we connect to Lord? How do we serve Lord? We serve Lord by serving Lord's devotees, right? That's the first angle. After that, who are Lord's devotees? Now, there are two of them. Now, there could be many, but let's categorize in two. One, who have realized that they are Lord's devotees, right? And there are others who are not, who have not realized yet that they are Lord's devotees, which means that everyone, hence, whenever a devotee is there, devotee will see devotee in everyone else. Remember what we say? Not everyone who is there at that level. Remember we discussed neophyte, kanishta, somebody who has just started on a spiritual journey, then madhyam adhikari, somebody who is in between, who just who got a lot and maybe can explain things to others, but is not fully enlightened yet. And like I said, in manner, I attended the course, Bhakti Shastri, and I remember Vrindavan Chandra Prabhuji said that almost everyone in ISKCON is at that level, Madhyam Adhikari, because read Srila Prabhupada's books, understood, try to follow, and then try to follow. preach as well. So most of the people, most of the devotees are Madhyamadikari. And then His Holiness, sannyasis, Guru Maharaj Ji, they are right, the supreme, they are the pure soul. That in their mind, whatever they will do 24/7 is related to Krishna. And Guru Maharaj Ji is a great example. She was there in the temple, and there was a nurse who's treating his body. He was sick, and he went into, so he was given a lot of injections. He fell asleep. I think we were like 6 hours later when he woke up, then his body was in pain. But when he saw the nurse, and they started having conversation, and they started laughing because this nurse came out and the devotees were waiting and said, well, your guru cannot wait. He started preaching to me. He's teaching me all about Krishna consciousness. He doesn't realize that he needs to take care of his body. And everybody started saying, Gauranga, Gauranga. That doesn't really matter where you are, doesn't really matter with whom you are. When you can only think of Krishna, all the past stories are of Krishna. It's like there is another saying that when you see a peacock feathers are there. We keep peacock feathers around our temple. Peacock feathers. When you will see peacock feather, what's the next thing which will come into mind? Ask 10 people, and probably 9 out of 10 will say peacock. It's a peacock feather. When you see peacock feather, what would you think of? Peacock. But then I said, ask 100 devotees. When they see peacock, they can't think of anything else except Krishna. That maybe Krishna is around, that peacock feather is here. So that's the difference. Anything and everything, devotees could relate to Krishna, to the Lord. Hence, it's so easy for them to tolerate phobia and then serve others. There is no anxiety, there is no drama, there is no hatred, there is no jealousy, because everybody could have relationship with Krishna one-to-one. There isn't any competition there at all. So this is how we could have a relationship with Krishna. Now, this is where we said number 2 and 3, and probably this is the last slide where we finish mantra 15. But before we go any further, we have already discussed it. We are just summarizing in this. Anything anyone would like to say, add? Any realization anyone might have? Okay. So let's see what we have in here. How can we see full position of Krishna? So what we have seen that if we succeed, one who penetrates 24 elements. So we checked all that. We go through all the material, and right at the end we will see Atma. All these things are the covering of our Atma. And then if we fail to understand this, then the Sankhya is there. Sankhya philosophy is there, and we will see this in chapter 3 as well. That 24 elements, and there is no. So Sankhya philosophy is very good to understand the body. These 24 elements are further split, how they work, how they interact, how we can engage, how we can control. But that's it. They stay within those 24. They never go beyond it, which is a spiritual. If we fail to see that. But again, to start with, it's still good. Like what Krishna said, if you can't do this, do this. If you can't do this, do this. Keep lowering the level. So if we can't succeed this, at least understand the 24 elements, and hopefully we could go beyond it, rather than somebody who doesn't even know anything about those 24 elements. So like Oji said, that very first part where we saw that impersonal and personal. So it's better to realize God, even if somebody will realize impersonal. That's still good enough compared to somebody who is just atheist. And then if we know impersonal, then we can move on to personal. Or sometimes maybe it's easier for some to realize personal better, because impersonal people, a lot of people, they consider as abstract. Personal, you have a picture. Impersonal, you don't even have a picture. It's just an idea in your mind. Some people, highly intellectual, they might able to get it, but a lot of us, we kind of get attached when we see things, when we hear the stories. Brahman doesn't have any stories. There are stories pointing towards Brahman, but there are no stories about Brahman. But there are stories about Krishna, and we can discuss that a lot. So this is if we are successful, if we are not successful. But then proof of how personal form is highest realization. We have seen this, especially if we see this verse, which verse is 14.27, as I was saying, the last verse of chapter 14. Brahmano hi pratisthaham. Brahmano hi pratisthaham. The I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. That's the first line of 1427. That I am the basis of that impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness, which means Brahman is a spiritual, it's immortal, Satya Chitta Anand, it's immortal, it's conscious, it's eternal, it's blissful. So for impersonal Brahman is also spiritual. But What Krishna says in 14.7, the very first sentence, that I am the basis of. I am the basis of. That's what we need to explain. Yes, say Prabhav. This is what Brahmaji sings for Krishna in Brahma Sutra. And then Mandukya Upanishad explains that. Then comparative analysis, if you compare that with 646 to 647 verse, and we will do that as well. We have done it actually before. The conclusion is that Krishna is the source of this impersonal Brahman. However, impersonal Brahman is also spiritual. Brahm Jyoti is also spiritual, but devotees would not like to go there because there is no opportunity to serve. It's just rather than having a bliss, it's the avoidance of all the miseries, which is also happiness. You're not going to get, like what we're discussing, jar vyadhi, janma mityu jara vyadhi. We are not going to get birth, we are not going to die, we are not going to get disease, we are not going to die. That's impersonal Brahman, but that's something we are not going to. So we are not going to get miseries. The three miseries we say, ati baudik, adhyatmik, ati devik. The misery we get from our body and our mind, the miseries we get from others, the miseries we get from the natural disasters. All three miseries, none of them we're going to get it, right? But when you go to impersonal Brahman, none of them will be there. None of them will be there. But there is no other happiness. Only the miseries go away, but nothing happiness. Well, devotees would like to get happiness, more blissful by serving others. And that's what and how do we understand? Realize by studying Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is where we finishes mantra 15. And the continuation of the prayers of the devotees, we go it further. Hare Krishna Mataji, please.
Just one question, Prabhuji. That the impersonal realization. Great scholars like Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramans, they were all
Yes.
into this. They were all into the Gnanis. And I sometimes find it fail to understand that why they choose to be at this position rather than realizing the full Krishna Bhagwan realization.
Yes. Mataji, they minded Adi Shankaracharya ji and Swami Vivekananda ji, Paramhans Yoganand ji. They are very highly intellect, very highly intellect. What they have said, it's very concise forms, and the language they have used is coming from Upanishad, and Upanishad is the source of everything, but again very concise. So what they have given is completely true. There is no conflict at all. The only thing is that other devotees who are not that highly intellect, which most of us are, then it's very hard. If you will pick any book from Swami Vivekananda, then try to understand if on YouTube you will find the Song of a Sannyasi, Song of a Sannyasi by Swami Vivekananda. Almost everything what we need to know about spirituality is there in that song. It's like a poet. He was a poet as well. It's a poem. And but again, I bet when you will read it, there will be so much confusion in it. So what our Puranas did basically? So this is what our Ved Vyasji did. That Vedas will not be understand. Let's give Upanishad. Upanishads are part of Vedas, but so a much more concise way. People at least read this, but they understood the as the Kali will go down, the intellect will go down. They said they need stories, and then they have given Puranas. In Puranas, there are stories: Vishnu Puran, Shiv Puran, Brahma Puran, Ling Puran, Vayu Puran, Vara Puran, Brahmavaivarta Puran, and Bhagavatam Puran. So through the stories, people will realize, and slowly, gradually, they will put spirituality in their life. However, the destination is the same what Swami Vivekananda has said. If somebody will realize and do the meditation the way he has said, that's this the best way. But the problem is not everybody could go there. How people can go? People can go doing a little bit of puja, doing a little bit of yagya, doing a bit of 9 forms of Navratri. Then Dashera will come. Then our Ganesh ji just recently went. So engaging with these cultural events slowly, gradually, the conscious will get purified, and hopefully one day we can reach where Swami Vivekananda would like to take us. So you're right. It's but now, of course, if your question is that what we are saying is that what Swami Vivekananda would like just to be go to Brahm Jyoti and not to the Vaikuntha, then again, the way we said that we said Shanta Rasa Dasya Madhurya and Vatsalya. Not everybody would like to go in all 5 of us. Well, it's almost impossible to take all of them. So whichever suits. So these highly intellect, they they love that, they prefer that, and yes, they would love to do that. So you would not. Well, now Swami Vivekananda's spiritual teacher, Ramakrishna ji, Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji, he was a devotee, and he was only a devotee of Kali.
Kalima, yes.
He only saw Kali Mata. Now, he would not go to anyone else. But that doesn't mean that he will say Kali is better than this or that. His what appealed to him was Kali. So he always said that the Lord manifested to me in the form of Kali. It's not the Kali Mata, it's the Lord. The form of the Lord which appealed to him was Kali Mata. That's it. To some, it could be Rama, to some, it could be Ganesha, to some, it could be Krishna's, and so on. So it's a beauty of Vedic culture that wherever we are, God is ready to come to that level to appeal to us. So God is not saying, if you will understand Katha Upanishad or Mandukya Upanishad, then you can reach to me. God is saying, with pure heart, if you will call me, and whichever form, like we have Girrajji, we keep a stone of Girrajji. I know a lot of time when we go to the beach, the kids, they pick that, they wash it, they put it in the altar. And I said, I can't think of any other religion where even you pick stone from anywhere and you could pray, and but Vedic culture allow you to do it because our Lord could manifest in whichever form we accept.
Yes.
And that is the beauty. But of course, Swami Vivekananda, they're very highly intellect. Because of their whole intellectual, they don't even need the sense object, if I say. So we need deities, we need temple. They don't need that. They don't need that. They, wherever they are, without any sense objects, they can just can realize God. And this is what happened to Ramakrishna Ji. I forgot the name of the teacher of Ramakrishna Ji. He's very he's very austere. But what he said, Totapuri Ji, I think. Totapuri Maharaj Ji. So he was the guru of Ramakrishna Ji. Ramakrishna Ji was there. He was always connected to Devi Ji, but he was not getting enlightened. He was not getting enlightened. And Tota Puri Maharaj Ji said that your mother, because he always said Durga Ji as mother. And I know this is getting recorded, so don't quote me on this. This is what I have heard from Swami Sarvapriyananji, who comes in the lineage of Swami Vivekanandaji and Ramakrishna Ji. So I've heard from him that Totapuri Ji said to Ramakrishna Ji when he was not getting enlightened, but he was still praying to Durga Ma, Kali Ma, that Totapuri Ji said that your mother will make you enlightened, but you have to get rid of your mother. Your mother will get you enlightened, but you have to get rid of your mother. Now, what does that mean? It's like when we start, why should we pray to the God? We should pray to the God to get enlightened, if we say that. But sometimes rather get that getting enlightened, getting spiritual progress, we just get attached to our God, attached to our cultures, and we are ready to fight with others, but we don't progress it further. Another analogy is where somebody says that my doctor is better than yours, but I'm not ready to take the medicines of my doctor. My doctor say become vegetarian. My doctor said always pray, always do the chanting, come to the temples, do the sessions, attend the sessions, speak about Krishna. These are the medicines. We don't want to do that, but we are ready to fight with others that my doctor is better. Like Hare Krishna is better, ISKCON is better, Hinduism is better, even though we don't follow everything what it says. So that's like we are ready to fight for our doctor, but we don't want to take the medicine of the doctor. This is like the doctor is going to help me to fix me, whatever disease I have. But my doctor, the reputation of my doctor, what I have made in my mind, that has become the obstacle. Now,
Wow.
this is what Totapuriji said, that your mother will enlighten you, but your mother is your obstacle. You have to, because he was getting attached to that form of the mother, and he was just thinking that this is God for me, my mother is God. He said you have to go beyond it. And then what he said, whenever he was meditating, Durgaji will come and he will get in tears, and in meditation, he's in meditation with Durgaji. And then at the end, when his guru said what he did, and again, this is what I've heard from Swami Sarvapriyananji, that what he did, apparently it's there in the gospel, which is a Christian word actually, but basically the autobiography, what I understand, of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, that what did he do? When next time he went into meditation, when his teacher explained him, then and inspired him, he went into meditation. Durga Ma came with the sword, because that's how she comes in. He, in his meditation, he took the sword from Mata and he did the pieces of the idol of Mata. And that day, it says, he got enlightened because Mother Kali, Mother Durga helped him to reach there. But now Mother Durga was the obstacle to get further. And now, with the help of Mother Durga's sword, he cut the idol of Mother Durga, and then he could see what's beyond it. which is that now he can see Mother Durga everywhere, not just in one item.
Yeah. Understood.
Yes, so that's but mind it, this is highly focused Upanishad for us. And Upanishads are beautiful. I'm listening again to Katho Upanishad, where Nachiketa's story comes in. And
Mm.
Mataji, you are from Gujarat. In Gujarat, if you have seen the evening show at Gandhinagar, so Swami Narayan's temple.
Mm.
In Gujarat, in Gandhinagar, Swami Narayan temple, in the evening, they do a light show. And they exhibit a story, and that story is of Nachiketa. And that story is as it is from Kathopanishad. Yeah. And the whole idea is that Nachiketa as a child goes and the Yamraj gives the whole essence of Vedanta, everything, how you can get enlightened. Whatever we discussed for so long in very, very, very condensed form, gave it to a little child. But that's what Upanishad is. So your question is very valid, but the again different people perceive it differently. But these saints and sages for us, they are very highly intellectual. And Upanishads, the way Srila Prabhupada ji has explained to us, is very grounded for our day-to-day life, how we can exhibit. And hopefully one day we can understand that both of them are right. Both of them, they have their own ways and means. And if we want, we can follow both. But again, depends how we perceive and whether we are ready. It's not about the God, it's whether we are ready. If our consciousness has elevated enough, has been purified enough, that's where it is.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. Well explained.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, my
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks. Hare
Hare
Krishna. With that, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru
Krishna.
Maharaj ki jai, jai jai Shri Radhesha.
Sure.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.